our Underdark adventure. I'd like to introduce all the players before we get started. First up, I have Snake, played by,
Alexios K. And I am playing a Yanti sorcerer.
and you are also playing.
Also playing Fixer Upper, which is a half orc cleric.
Excellent. Next on the list is Melrath.
That's Starmy 827, and I'm playing the dwarf fighter named Melrath.
Excellent. Um, After that, we have Bob, played by.
That is me. He is a tiefling warlock.
Excellent. And last but not least, we have Ringik.
He is the goblin fighter slash soon to be thief slash eventually to be ruler of all goblin kind. Probably not.
Wait a minute, you're going a thief path? I thought you were going for arcane archer.
I can't remember. I keep changing my mind.
It's one of the two.
All right, well, you might be our first classer. When last our adventures were intrepid, we spent a lot of time in a prison that we very quickly escaped, and now we've moved on to the escape from the prison, and the party is being pursued by Ilvara, who is the drow priestess that was in charge of that outpost, and she is intent on reclaiming the prisoners, as many of them as she can, and bringing them back to her outpost. So, in the course of that escape, the party has most notably come up to a place called the Silken Paths, and they have just encountered the goblins Yuck Yuck and Spiderbait. And I will remind the party by sharing their portraits. They're beautiful portraits. Yuck Yuck being on the left.
Yummy.
And so you are about to set out across the Silken Path. So before I get started with that, is there anything else that you guys might have wanted to do before setting out onto these very precarious spider webs above a 500-foot chasm?
I mean, besides pray.
Besides the cleric.
Well, we determined that they're pretty trustworthy, right?
Uh,
Didn't someone roll an insight or something?
someone
I do
rolled-
remember.
The cleric rolled at like a 20 or something.
Yeah, the cleric rolled a really good insight, and they do genuinely seem to be really intent on just getting paid. You get the impression that they think there's some treasure out there that might be reclaimed, and because they have more bodies, they might actually be able to, make a decent amount of profit off of this. So they are intent to get you up and out and into the webs. So, shall we?
Let's do it.
Okay. So, here we go. So, as you set out into the webs, let me also check something else.
Totally crawling the webs, dude. It's like 1994 all over again.
Disgusting. Indeed it is. There's going to be that cool kid giving me the thumbs up in a minute. So,
Riding a keyboard like a skateboard.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
As you guys set out into the webs, everyone else is you're sort of climbing it. You're on all fours. The strands are about the same width as your body. So you're kind of, using the fact that they're a little bit sticky to, drag one hand after another and help you climb these webs and get your footing. Um, as you are climbing through the webs, oh, wait a minute. There's one more thing that I really need to establish. Can we very quickly establish your marching order? So if everyone can go to the party sheet, I am going to... Oh, wait a minute. You might not be able to do this. Well, I'm going to try this, and we'll see if it works. There we go. Okay. If you go to the party sheet, and then there are tabs along the right-hand side, click on Order. Oops. There we go. You should be able to sort of rearrange yourselves. I would like you to do... Actually, can I do something? No. It only works one way. I would like you to arrange yourselves into a column of 2, and I want you to have 2 people in the front, and determine who you want it to be up front, who you want to be up back.
Should we do?
Did I just guess it? Is this it?
Looks good to me.
Sure.
I mean, I am okay with this.
Okay.
I can put Ringik anywhere, really. If you want
Well,
me to cover...
why don't you put rigging in the back here with Snakey.
Okay.
There we go.
You can also move Snake up if you'd like.
I'll help out Ringik.
Okay.
I'm poison immune, so when I get stabbed, there's that going for us.
Yeah,
I'll just chill in the middle.
Poison.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that I have your marching order, that's taken care of. By the way, since we're on this subject real quick, when it comes to the watch order, for watch, what I generally recommend players do is they pick 2 people that they would like to be the 2 people that switch on and off with watch. Um, the first person is going to take the first watch, which is like right when the party starts sleeping to halfway through the sleep cycle. And then the second person is the person who watches from the second cycle to the end. Generally speaking, I recommend that, at minimum, you assign just 2 people to do the watch, one for the first part and one for the second. But if you assign, like 2 people to second watch or 2 people to first watch, that does like increase the chance that one person won't have like a shit roll and then fail to alert the party, that sort of thing. So does anyone want to volunteer for any of the watches?
Well, Fixer Uppers for Watch 1, I guess, so that works.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to volunteer for 1 too.
Okay.
I guess I'm on 2 then.
2. Okay. Anybody else on
Snake
2?
Snake can watch. Bob can just sit in the middle and not do anything.
Okay.
Bob's okay with that.
Oh, actually, you know what? I think I can go like this. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, perfect.
All right, so we've got watch and party order out of the way. So that matters for the following. As you guys are climbing over the webs, you've gone out a good 250 yards, and you're climbing through. It's really pretty damn dark, and there's some light periodically. Um, I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but there is a natural phenomena in our world where there are these strands of mucus that live in caves and they're bioluminescent. Have you guys ever heard of those?
No.
I think I remember reading about that once.
Yeah, they're insects that live in caves, and they dangle these mucus strings down to try to catch bats or small moths or other, flying insects.
Hmm.
And that's their predatory thing. And when there's no other light, they naturally light up, and it looks like stars. It's really pretty. You can Google it. But the important thing is that in this spider cave, there are some of these strands that drip from the ceiling, and it's uncertain if these are, in the same sort of mucus bugs, or if there's some sort of luminescent or phosphorus material that is leached into them. But you have this sort of star-like effect up above, so you have this really low level of light, which is helping to extend your vision out a ways. And I mention this because as you guys are climbing along, the fixer-upper suddenly thrusts an arm out right in front of Melrath and holds a finger to his lips and then points. And Melrath is able to see out in the darkness, coming up along this same strand, there and a strand adjacent to it. Because remember, this is a spider web, so there's a couple different strands in three-dimensional space around you. But ahead of you and a little bit to the right, those 2 strands, you can see that there appears to be a drow coming towards the party. Oh, I'm sorry. There's one other thing I want to make a note of real quick. Edit, add. Okay. I think he's the only one, so that's fine for now. And then let me just drop that down in here. Sorry. Bloop. Okay, so there appears to be a drow making his way towards the
If you're
party.
putting stuff on a map, I can't see it. I don't have the map.
There's no map.
Oh.
Yeah. What I'm trying to figure out is... Oh, I'm just supposed to pull up the encounter. That's why I'm not seeing the info I need. Okay. So coming ahead of you, there are 2 drow and 2 quaggoths. They're climbing along the strand. They're climbing along at a very steady pace. They're not trying to go at a breakneck thing or anything. There's no sign from the period that you are in, or sorry, from your location, that there is that they've seen you. So at this point, um, you've got 2 drow, 2 quaggoth coming towards you. Um, you have some choices. I know that you can't see it. I know that there's no map. There was no map provided for this, so I can't do such a thing. But here's the layout of where you're at. If you proceed forward, you would end up in a fight with these creatures. You would be in a single file line for the most part, fighting, standing, balancing on this web. So that's an option. The other option is that up ahead of you, a good 80 feet, there is another strand that adjoins the web that you're on to another web strand that is up above you. Oh, I don't know. It looks like 75 feet. So you could try to race forward, scrabble up this connecting strand, and move on to another strand before encountering the drow and the quaggoth. Now,
I'm pretty.
just as to make things a little clearer as to why you might want to do things. When it comes to the drow and the quaggoth, um, if you were to try to kill them, that means that they won't be able to persist onwards and mention anything to Ilvara should they come across her. It also means that they won't try to snipe at you on the as you move past them, if they have any capability to do so. However, avoiding them means that you and them are not risking life and limb in this particular combat because this is obviously a precarious place to fight, right?
It sounds that way, yes.
Is there a way to find out if they're like dangerous?
Well,
Like any insight rolls or anything?
insight. Good question. Insight generally pertains to when you're already in the middle of a conversation with someone, although it could work with body language if you happen to be near them. But like I said, they're about 250 feet away from you, and you're only vaguely aware of them coming towards you. There's not enough detail to read anything about them. But what I can tell you is that, generally speaking, both Drow and Quaggoths or I'm sorry, apparently just Drow, generally are neutral evil. Any given drow that you come across is has a 90% likelihood to be neutral evil, which means that they're not going to be working in your favor. And drow do very much stick together. They have a very tight knit society, so that does not bode well for you.
I think ambush may be the way to go.
Okay, can you sort of give me a sense on how you would try to pull that off?
Uh, let us collaborate.
Are we strong enough to fight anything? I mean, we're all still newbies, right? Level 1.
That's true.
Yeah.
Let me check something. Okay. Um, you're probably strong enough. I think one of the things that is a big advantage to you guys at the moment is that I'm just looking briefly through different people's inventory. It looks like most people took a ranged weapon. Yeah, yeah. It actually looks like
Mhm.
maybe everybody took a ranged weapon. Yeah. So that is to your advantage, because it means that you could be on another strand and fight. If they don't have any ranged weapons, they're fucked. I would also point out that when it comes to your party in particular, you do have magic, and so you might be able to cast things at a distance to be able to hit them. Um, and that, let me check something else. 120 feet. What is this one? 60 feet. And that one of the other things to keep in mind is that spider webbing is very vulnerable to fire damage. The
Hmm.
only problem here is that if you use fire damage and intentionally on a web, you might cause the fire to spread, and that could have devastating effects on your continued existence.
To say the least.
Yes. So you have some advantages here, um, potentially, over your opponents. Does that help answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you guys think?
last thing to consider, which is that at least as far as this combat goes, since there are 2 Drow and 2 Quaggoth, technically the battle is ever so slightly in your odds just by a sheer number of characters.
Numbers.
Also keep in mind that while they are not currently in the combat tracker, I actually have all the stats for the remaining prisoners, and I am able to just pull them up and insert them into combat whenever. So you
I'm
actually
all
have
for
more numbers than you think.
I'm all for sacrificing them.
I was gonna say I'm all for insertion, but you know.
Yeah, okay.
Oh my.
Should we just throw all the range stuff at them?
Yeah, let's ambush them at range with the maximum number of shots. Just catch them off guard. Try to get them off of the web, if at all possible.
Okay, so you're gonna stay on the strand that you're currently on.
Yeah, I would say that's.
And we're not going to go with fire at the moment, correct?
Yeah, no, that's a terrible idea.
I thought so.
All right, so I'm gonna set up this combat. Give me just a second while I start grabbing people and pulling them in here.
Can we throw one of the NPCs at them?
By the way, one of the things that I actually made a point of hold on a second. If I hit Control, I can grab all the NPCs. Let me delete that. I'm gonna grab all the NPCs' character sheets and put them under a certain toolbar, so that I can access them. That person's dead.
That person was eaten by a grue.
That person was eaten by a slime. Well, the one I
Yummy.
watched, that was so gross.
I wasn't watching. I was walking away.
It's, well, still technically isn't a combatant, but Topsy. What? Ah, okay. There we go. Okay, so now I have all the characters, so I just exit the combat tracker. Oh, can everybody roll for initiative?
Initiative.
Topsy.
Well, I rolled terribly.
All right.
What is going on?
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Let me also expand out this combat tracker because there's a hell of a lot in here. Okay, so that's there, and then.
Ooh, Shushar. I forgot about him.
Oh, by the way, because they're allies. if you guys-
Shushar.
Does Shushar have a red dragon on the far right of his?
Mm-mm.
No.
Okay. I was gonna say it would be okay for you guys to see their character sheets if you could, but that's not an issue, so I won't worry about it. Okay, so oh wait, I'm sorry, I forgot Shushar is a pacifist,
Oh.
but I need his stats for other things, so I'll leave him where he is. Anyways, now I'm going to grab the drow.
And where are we heading again, Alex?
To the other side of the
It's like there's a fork in the road, except it's a fork in the web.
But what city are we going to?
Oh, I know what you're asking. Hold on just a second. Let me pull that information up. Where's the story?
Come on, it tumbles out of your mouth so beautifully.
I know. Wait a minute.
No.
Wait a minute. Is this?
You need to pull up the pronunciation guide too.
Sloppy doopy dop.
There is no pronunciation guide, which is part of the vision of Dungeons and Dragons. So, give me a second. It's right here. Quick links. No. Training counters. Oh, give me a fucking break, you piece of shit. Oh my god. I found it. We are traveling to, and I'm going to type it as well because this is the official spelling. Sloobuldop. A Kuatoa town. Oh, you know what? what? I'm gonna pop
Uh,
now that I've done all that work. I'm gonna pop that entry right into my toolbar so I can find it later. Anyways, unfortunately for you guys, the drow rolled particularly well in all of this, but we'll see where we can get what we can get to. Now I need silken.
Nice ambush, guys.
I mean, well,
Wow.
technically, I'm gonna roll to see if these guys are surprised, and if they're surprised, they won't murder you. How's that sound? Oh, wow, I suddenly added way too many Quaggoth. Let me delete some of those. Bloop, bloop. Okay.
Delete. Delete.
Oh, Kyle, this is primarily for you because the other players have gone through this before. Just real quick, pull up your character sheet, look at skills.
Uh-huh.
Skills, there are 3 specific knowledges, okay?
Yeah.
And they are Arcana, Nature, and Religion.
Okay.
Those 3 knowledges are relevant in combat. On your turn, you can, as a free action, say, I want to attempt to identify the monster we're fighting, okay?
Mm-hmm.
When you do so, I will tell you to roll Arcana, Nature, or Religion. Based on your roll, I will give you information about a character, such as, does this creature have any elemental immunities or condition immunities? I will give you some limited information about it, sometimes like really general knowledge that's known about these creatures, or if it's not a very well-known creature, you won't get much knowledge. I've also decided that as you guys go along, if you encounter the same creatures over and over again, I'll start revealing a little more information with each identify, but that only pertains like from battle to battle, meaning you how do I put this? Imagine that you have like a quest in an MMO, identify 4 drow. This combat you identify 1, so it's 1 out of 4. Next combat you identify another, so you get a little more information. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Okay.
it's like a progressive quest.
Is that like a usual thing that people do just to find out about what they're fighting?
Yes and no. In 5th edition, there is actually no condition for identify. But the problem that I have with 5th edition is that, Kyle, you have how many spell slots?
50, 100?
Two. You have 2 spell slots. Oh, I'm sorry, you have 1. You have 1 spell slot. If you
There you go.
use Dissonant Whispers, and you use
Uh-huh.
it against a creature that is immune to psychic damage, you've lost your only spell slot. And now you have to spend the rest of the combat without your most powerful tool.
That
So
sucks.
it does, and I think it's unfair. So what I've decided is I'm using this identification thing to help all players not get into a situation where they waste vital resources, but while still leaving some mystery around what it is that you're fighting. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so I want to encourage you every single combat, try to identify stuff. Now, if you've seen it before, you've fought it before, and you remember stuff about it, that's fine. But yeah, so we're going to get into combat now. Ront is up.
Okay.
I am going to make a
Ront.
secret roll.
Ooh.
Okay, so now I know whether the opponents are surprised or not.
And are they?
Well, you'll find out based on whether or
Damn
not
it.
they attack back. So let's start with
I don't see them in the order list, or is that deliberate?
uh your opponents.
Yeah.
They're in the combat tracker.
I don't see them.
I don't see him either.
How about now?
There they are.
There we go.
Okay.
Healthy.
Okay. Not for long.
At least the Quagoths rolled terribly. Huh.
Let me pull this out. So
Is initiative, does that determine order?
Yes.
yes, initiative is the order in which combat occurs. So first up is going to be Ront. Ront is just going to target round number 1. He's going to fire off his javelin. So let's see how that goes.
Hit.
Oof.
Okay. So he manages a hit against the first drow.
Wow, what a beast.
Heavy.
Ront reaches onto his back and pulls out a couple of javelins, one in particular, and hucks it at the nearest drow. It impales him in the chest, and he suddenly cries out in pain. Okay.
Man.
Next up is that drow that was just impacted. Unfortunately, it turns out he was not surprised. So at this point,
Remind me not to piss off Ront.
he is going to. Let's see. He is going to. 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 He is try to use this spell against Ront.
And heavy means heavy damage
Yes.
on it, right?
Mhm.
If it's red, that means that creature is close to death.
Yeah, fucker.
And
Alright.
also, to be very specific, I'll get to that later. To be very specific, red means that he's at half hit points or less. Okay. So, anyways, drow number 1 is doing something at a distance. By the way, just to give you guys some reference, you are currently a good. I don't actually know. I should have rolled that at disadvantage. Sorry, you guys are a good 60 feet away from them. And that's when combat is initiated, just so that people have a sense for spells. And the drow has done some particular spell casting from a distance, and suddenly Ront lights up. He is suddenly incredibly visible out along the web as a glowing light has traced the outline of him and makes him visible to everyone.
Hmm.
Okay, so that is an
Nice knowing you.
Yeah, I know,
We-
right?
Our orc is a beacon.
Next up is drow number 2. Drow number 2, thanks to that.
We
Hmm?
we can't give them names like drow number 2. Like really? I mean,
But do you want me to give them like Jake the drow?
yeah.
Jake hates snake.
All right, Jake is up in the initiative.
Thanks, Alex.
Yeah, we'll just Jake the drow.
I'm already half a bottle in, so
Yeah, just don't
enjoy
expect me
this.
to get like real creative with these names for these destined to die here.
Name one flow.
There we go. Unfortunately for you guys, Ront is kind of a bit back in the party order, and that means that he is lighting up the rest of you pretty well. So now that the enemy has a better sense of you, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have him fire off. Ooh. So Jake suddenly whips out a crossbow and fires it directly at Ront. Unfortunately for Ront, he was attacked at disadvantage, and the drow has hit. So, holy shit! Why did that not damage? Wait, what happened? Okay, I don't know, but I'm
I'm
gonna
not
fix
sure.
it. Oops. There we go. He fires off a crossbow bolt. It lands and does pretty much the maximum damage that it can do, and then, oh, thank God. Fortunately for you guys, or mostly for Ront, really, Ront is impacted by the drow poison, and you see him start to wobble a little bit, but he manages to shake his head and remain awake. Um, when drow crossbow bolts hit you, the poison they have can make you fall unconscious if you save against the effect, or fail to save against the effect. Next up is Melrath.
Actually, that's good. I'm going to use that one crossbow bolt I got to shoot it at Quagoth too.
Okay. Excellent. Melrath takes careful aim with his crossbow, fires, and hits Quagoth number 2 quite solidly, whose name is now, oops, Reba.
Okay.
And he has to do a Constitution saving throw, right?
He does indeed, and I actually have the effect for that right here. So let me grab this, drag it, hit Reba. Reba manages to succeed against the effect.
Versus Sareth. What the hell?
I
Okay.
grabbed it from Sareth's character sheet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But roll for damage, Eric. All right. Unfortunately, your crossbow bolt did not land particularly solidly. You just sort of made a gouge into his upper shoulder, and yeah. So Reba, I should say, manages to hang on. So next up in the initiative order is Sareth. I think Sareth is going to focus on the drow that was already hit. So he fires off his crossbow bolt, but doesn't manage to land a shot. It goes wide. Snake, you are up.
I will target the heavy damaged drow
Okay.
with Ray of Frost, I guess.
There you go.
Okay. Because we're not using fire.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, that's good to remember.
So I attack with this because it's a ray, correct?
Check.
As opposed to cast.
Correction, we're not using fire until after we're on the other side.
Or you're not on the same web. Yes, you're using attack.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
Very solid hit.
Well. Okay, there's the damage.
Okay, good. I'm glad that's actually working properly. Flo gets hit with a glancing blow from the frost.
Oh,
Now,
didn't
let me
work.
check something else. It did not add that. That's interesting. Let me check on the spell. I thought this had an effect.
-10 to speed.
Yeah. That's interesting. Okay, well, I won't worry about it too much. I'll just...
Wow, what a waste of a 25 roll to get 1.
Add the effect. There we go. That's the way the dice rolls go sometimes. Click. Nope, I can close that, and then that's all set. Now, next up is Topsy. What is Topsy gonna do?
Show us how it's done, Topsy.
Oh my fucking god, are you kidding me? Oh, this is great. Okay, I didn't know this, but wow, Topsy is a baller. All right. Topsy.
He has 33 hit points.
Wow, what a beast.
I know,
Jeez.
right? Topsy decides that he is going to cast blindness and deafness on Quaggoth number 1.
Okay.
Ah, the Quaggoth.
They fail.
He succeeded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if
I
he
see.
failed, that would have been fan-fucking-tastic.
I didn't. Okay, so I thought he meant the save succeeded.
The save did succeed. The Quaggoth is not affected.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see.
That is unfortunate, but
Very unfortunate.
wow, I can't wait to play Turvy next. Ringit, you're up.
Ringik is going to do what Ringik does best, and that is, thanks to his archery fighting style, archery. So it's crossbow time.
Okay. Who's your target?
I'm going to try and finish off Flo.
Okay. Take out Flo.
Okay.
All right, that's a hit. Do you have the damage?
I do.
Yay.
Nicely done.
Status dying.
Ringit briefly stands to take his careful shot, fires it off, and it manages to impact Flo directly in the collarbone. The arrow sinks, or bolt, I should say, sinks deep enough to impact his heart, and suddenly he slumps against the web, only to tumble into the darkness. Flo is
Oh.
She's gonna ruin her progressive outfit.
Oh wow, that's interesting. Hold on a second.
Bupido.
Bupido is next. Bupido.
Why on earth is Jim Jar in our list? He's dead.
Jim Jar?
Yeah.
Wait, how did he die?
If I recall correctly, he got eaten by spiders.
He did?
I thought that was the elf dude.
Oh yeah, during the escape.
That was Darendelle.
Okay, I know Jim Jar died, but how? I know we were glad that he died.
Obviously.
He was
Somebody was
wasn't
glad.
us.
Just to be very clear, Jim Jar was the guy that was always taunting you guys into bets and whatnot.
Yes, and we were
Oh,
glad
yeah.
that he died because he wound up taunting Snake or Fixer Upper or somebody into picking a lock he shouldn't have.
Yeah, Snake picked a lock, but then he got poisoned by something he was immune to, so it didn't matter. Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyways, yeah, I'll remove him from the list and add him to the list of dead ones. So that's taken care of. Sorry about that. Bupido is up next, and Bupido actually moves forward to get into proper range. Well, actually, make sure if I do that right. And he is going to fire at the other drow. He hits.
Nice.
Does.
What is he firing with? Another crossbow?
Yeah, he fires off his crossbow. He manages to deal the damage, and then I just have to
Quality.
pull this up so I can get the effect I need. All right. Jake succeeds versus the Drow poison. Okay. With Bupito done, Bob is up next.
Okay. So I only have one spell slot. So that means
So
I cast one spell in this whole combat,
no,
and that's it.
not quite. So your cantrip spells don't use a spell slot. You can cast those
Yeah.
forever.
Yep.
Gotcha.
So what you should do is save your spells until you feel really threatened. And
That's
then-
why I cast a cantrip earlier, the Ray of Frost. So you should have something like that, I would think. A damage thing.
Eldritch Blast.
Yeah,
or
if
that,
you're-
yeah.
If you're a warlock, you can cast all the Eldritch Blast you want.
So what I would say is when you get to your spells list, click on the little magnifying glass next to the dragon head, and then when you get there, there's going to be a sword. It says range 6. You see that?
What if I cast Mage Hand and just like wave at him?
Then no damage will be dealt, and we'll move to the next character.
And your allies will consider throwing you off a cliff.
Yeah. Okay. So first I roll cast or attack.
You're gonna roll attack, but before that happens, you have to tell me who you're targeting.
Let's go for. Well,
Oh, Alex, can you add his charisma modifier to this? Or
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He does not have that ability. That was a special ability based on pact magic that you got.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
let's go for Reba since she's already wounded.
Okay, so there's two ways that you can do this. You can ask me to target Rita, or you can click and hold on the attack, drag that over, and drop it onto Reba. There you go.
Nice.
That's how you do an attack. You can target whoever you want. So you fire
Nice.
off your Eldritch Blast. Bob leaps up to his feet, takes careful aim, and his hand projects a shadowy magic which streaks across the battlefield, fully impacting the Quaggoth and doing
Lightning bolt.
doing force damage. You have to drag damage over to Reba.
Wow.
Holy shit! Nicely done. Full damage.
Bam.
The
Did it-
shadowy magic impacts the creature, and it's like a stream of energy. And so for about 2 seconds, that stream of energy, sears over the creature and tears away at its cloth and skin.
She better be dead.
Nope. Still quite green, in fact. Turvy.
Wow.
Turvy is.
Was the damage applied?
Yes, it was.
Oh, okay.
I was watching.
Wow. They have a lot of hit points.
Unfortunately, they do. Turvy has decided he's going to try blindness and deafness on Quaggoth number 1. Oh, yes. So Quaggoth number 1 is blinded and deafened.
Poor bastard.
Thank God for you guys, or lucky for you guys, I should say. Fixer Upper, what will you do?
I will. Sacred Flame is remarkably not fire damage, so
Oh, it is radiant.
radiant. Yeah.
Ooh.
But I'll shoot the crossbow at Jake. Try and take out the Jake.
Okay. Can you target him, or do you need my help?
Just roll it on him, basically.
Yeah. Grab the attack and
Mhm.
drop it directly on top of Jake, and it will do the damage to him.
Drake.
See? So you hit
Pretty
Jake,
cool.
and then drag the damage over.
You attack Drake. I hate your albums.
Oh, I didn't kill him.
No, you didn't.
But he's
You were
close.
Heavily wounded. Your crossbow. Oh, wait a minute. You have a drow crossbow.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Suddenly we had Drake 2 there for a second. That's not right. Let me-
It's Drake.
Stop changing their names, damn it. Can't keep this straight.
Oh, unfortunately for you guys, Drake succeeds against the drow poison. He does not go unconscious and tumble into the darkness. But that crossbow bolt did a lot of damage. So
Yeah, cool.
Next
Good
up
job.
is Quackoth number 1. Now
All
he's
right.
going to race to the front of the combat, which means that he's got those two as an option. So he's go. What is that? Oh wow. Okay, cool. 2. Okay. Quaggoth 1 rushes forward on the web and takes careful aim at Melvin. His first claw attack misses, and his
These are-
second claw attack also misses. He races forward. He just claws at the darkness, hoping to hit you. So that is Quaggoth number 1. Reba. Oh, two's or 1 has got to get a name. He's gonna be Trixie.
McIntyre.
Trixie. Reba charges forward and targets the fixer-upper. The first one misses. Oh, but the second claw hits. So as she charges forward, she claws at your armor, and the first one doesn't find purchase, but the second does, and you take 9 points of damage from the steel claw.
Ow.
We go back to the top of the round, and Ront is up. He's clutching at his side.
Oh,
Okay.
isn't this the one that you like bitch slapped? Someone bitch slapped him.
Yeah, they made him his bitch.
Yeah.
He is going to try to throw a javelin at the last remaining drow, try to take him out, but he unfortunately does not make it, which gives that drow the opportunity to attack. And so at this point, he's going to fire at Ringek. And hit
Ah, jeez.
for 6 points of damage. Ringek, let's see here. Oh, well, Chris barely manages to stay conscious despite the drow poison. It makes him a little drowsy, but he's still with you. Next
Even with
up
my low body mass.
is Melrad,
The Quaggoths are right next to me, right?
directly in front of you. If you
I
try
do
to
not
make
seem-
a ranged attack, you would make it a disadvantage because you're in melee with another character.
You said I took 6 damage, right?
How can you tell you're in melee with the Quaggoths and not the other ones?
Because they rushed forward, I thought.
The Quaggoths rushed forward, and I normally we would have a map, and I would put all the characters on the map, and you would see where you are in relation to your enemies. But
Okay.
this particular scenario has no map, so I don't have anything to show you. Anyways,
Well, you suck.
yeah, I'm just
Wow.
doing it. Yeah. So
Just attacking our poor DM now.
Eric is against nearby Quaggoth, and unfortunately for him, he misses. Next up is Sareth, and we'll hope that he has better luck. He is going to try to attack the Quaggoth engaged with the fixer-upper, which I believe was Reba. He hits. Does a fair amount of damage, which unfortunately still is not enough to get the Quaggoth even into the yellow. And the Quaggoth succeeds its saving throw versus the poison. Snake, you're up.
So Reba has at least 35 hit points.
Um, I guess I'll use a spell slot because these guys are tougher than I expected. And I'll use Magic Missile.
Okay.
I'll join you too later.
Magic Missile power.
Yeah, just drag the damage directly onto your target.
Finish off that drow. Get him off the field.
And don't forget,
Yeah.
guys, there's always you can always retreat if you find that an enemy is too much for you.
So I get 3 darts, right?
Correct? When you pull the damage off, it should give you 3d4 automatically.
But I can target them at different people, right?
Correct?
Okay.
Actually, you're right. It would probably give you individual d4 for that reason.
Yeah, I'll target the Drake
Okay?
for 1.
They're all 1d4 plus 1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so fire off your... drag your damage right onto Drake and let's see what happens. Okay.
Okay.
Your first magic missile streaks out from your hand across the battlefield, finds Drake, and directly knocks him off the web, hurling into the darkness.
Good job.
The other two will hit Reba.
Okay, so grab it and then right-click to add an extra die, and then drop it on Reba.
Die, Reba.
Pew pew.
All right, you've just now managed to knock Reba into heavy damage.
Okay.
Okay, well done. Topsy is up next.
I hope amongst her spells she has some sort of healing for some of us.
Let me check something. Is this a self? It is self. That doesn't help.
I mean, I'll be okay for a bit, but
That doesn't help.
I don't want our cleric to die.
Right. Blindness and deafness is only a once per day effect, so we can't cast that again. All that leaves him with is the ability to try to hit your opponents and take them out. He fires off with his hand crossbow,
Okay, we'll take it.
deals 6 damage, and
Nice.
then
Did that.
did that what?
Well, the 6 damage didn't show up on here, so I'm not sure if it actually connected.
Oh, you're right, it didn't. I don't know why it didn't, but I'll add it myself. Thank you for that. Did you guys see the result from the crossbow?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, or the poison, I mean.
Yeah, Reba made the save.
Yeah.
This is weak poison.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so that's Topsy's turn. Ringik, you're up.
To burn my second wind charge or to not burn it. You know what?
Don't
What?
burn it, Chris.
What is it you're talking about?
I'm a fighter, so I have second wind, so I can burn a hit die to heal myself once a long rest.
Once a long rest.
Yeah, as a bonus action.
Well, I'm an Fixer Upper is an orc, so they have to kill him outright, or he goes down to 1 hit point.
Oh, well, he's already at 1 hit point.
This is true, but when he goes to 0, he stays at 1 unless he gets killed. I think that's how it's.
I know what you're talking about. I'm checking the rolls. When you're reduced
Okay.
to 0 hit points but not killed outright, you can drop to 1 hit point instead. Yeah.
Okay, so how does he get killed outright?
What that means is that you would take damage equal to twice your level, but the main thing is that effect only works once per long rest.
Okay.
Alright, so what I'm going to do in this situation... shooting Reba is probably the sane thing to do to get her off the field. So, I'm going to do exactly that.
Sure.
Oh, come on, hang on. There. Hata!
Nice.
A hit
Nice.
with very good damage. Well done, Chris. You fire off your crossbow bolt. You really... I think you might have not dropped the damage on Reba.
I think you're right.
Okay, I already took care of it. I changed the hit points, and actually, it matters.
Ooh, actually, I forgot. Oh, I killed her anyway.
Yeah. So anyways, your crossbow bolt impacts Reba. It's too much for the Quaggoth to take, and she loses her grip on the web and also falls into the darkness.
Before my turn ends, I want to say to Trixie, you can't kill all of us. Surrender.
Okay.
Okay.
You want to try that with Intimidate or some sort of skill that might actually make that work?
Do you want your vision back, bitch?
No, that... Oh, yeah.
Oh, actually, no, it wouldn't work because Trixie's deafened anyway. Never mind.
Yeah. But you insulted anyway.
that sounds exactly like you, Chris. All right. Next.
Yeah.
Stop shouting at the deaf person.
Yeah, really.
Bukato is going to fire Spider with his light crossbow?
There's no need to fire. We can just push Trixie over.
Aren't they huge? Like, aren't Quagoths really big?
They
but they're
are medium
Oh.
humanoid, so they're about.
Oh, okay.
They're a little on the large side of medium, but they're like basketball players.
So you want to push the blind deaf person over a cliff, basically?
Yes.
Is that what you do when you encounter them?
Yes. To protect
This is
them
policy
from
for the
terrible
disabled
secret
here.
space.
Well, Bob, you're up. Do you want to push a blind deaf person into an abyss?
Yes.
I don't think it's gonna go super well for you, only because. Okay. So you've done your Eldritch Blast. Go for it. So because they're
Oh
blind,
damn.
you guys have advantage to roll against hitting Trixie.
Mhm.
So you may not have done an awful lot of damage, but everybody else is almost certainly certain to land their blows. So I wouldn't worry about it terribly much. So, wait, seriously? Oh wow. Okay.
How do we do advantage again?
You don't have to. It's been added for you.
Oh,
If you
okay.
look in the character sheet, it says Bob, Attack R, Eldritch Blast, ADV. Do you see that?
Attack R. No. Where am I looking?
In the chat window, it says Bob, Attack R, Eldritch Blast.
Advantage. Yes.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And you see how the die is green?
Oh, that's just to hit though, not to damage.
Correct.
Okay.
And it also tells you the number that was dropped, the lowest number that you rolled, which was the 3.
How long is he blinded and deafened?
Oh, for the next
Like-
10 minutes. Which is about 60 rounds.
Push.
Oh, I'm sorry, not 60 rounds. He's blind for the next 10 rounds.
Oh yeah, we good.
Yeah. He's unlikely. He's can still hit people, but it's unlikely. So moving on. It turns out that Topsy and Turvy have multi-attack, which I was unaware of. So I'm going to roll his attacks first. Okay. So wait, Turvy hit himself? I'm sorry, I must have dropped it. There we go. There we go. Okay, so he fires off his hand crossbow, manages 2 hits.
The second one didn't connect.
8
Like-
and 6. You're right. It didn't. Okay, there. I fixed it. So that was taken care of, and then I just have to apply the poison, which is unlikely to work, but you never know. You could get lucky. The bolts that sink into the Quagoth's flesh must have hit pretty close to his heart, because it seems that he was very suddenly overtaken with unconsciousness and tumbles into the darkness. Well done. Good news, everyone. Based on the escape from the prison, overcoming several different issues getting here, like the lava tunnels and so on and so forth, plus this particular fight, as soon as you guys have a long rest, you're going to level.
Excellent.
Marvelous. So we have finished out the combat. So let me close up some of these things, get it all.
I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on myself because I'm at 1 hit point.
Yep.
Way to be selfish there.
Well, I am the cleric, so
If he dies,
If I die.
is there to heal you. So
yeah.
Yeah.
okay. So go
Which-
ahead and drop the healing on yourself, Brett.
Can we do any sort of manual healing on Ront or?
Ront will recover hit points over time.
Okay.
We're just gonna have to let him rest.
Wow.
You did your best.
I did.
It was a little hard for that holy energy to find you. So, moving along the Silken Path. So unfortunately, there's no treasure to be recovered, because of course your foes have fallen 500 feet below you to the bottom of the crevasse. So as you guys continue to move along, let me see here. Okay. As you guys continue to move along, there's a creature flying above you. And just as before, the fixer-upper is the first person to spot it. It is flying around in a kind of aimless pattern. Um, in the general vicinity of your level. And as it comes into range, all of you can suddenly start hearing whisperings in your head. It seems to be just sort of communicating telepathically, sort of in a broadband, like speaking to an audience hall would be, as opposed to whispering to someone. You know what I mean?
I guess, yeah.
Okay. Um, and huh. Okay. As it's muttering about, like you can't pick up on its words at first, but you hear something about demons rising in the dark, monsters coming from below, things of that nature. Um, it is continuing to not really take notice of you guys. The creature seems to be some sort of an orb. It's not like anything you've ever seen before. It has these weird appendages that are like pseudo arms. Has a couple of those. It has no feet. Has a great big mouth with teeth. Um, anyways, do you want to try to proceed past it or call out to it?
Let's try not to have it notice us. I am going to roll Arcana, though, to try and figure out what it is.
What language does it speak?
Well, it's speaking telepathically, so it technically doesn't have a language, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Telepathy bypasses the need for a language. Anyways, in order to get more information on it, you're going to have to get closer. Are you okay with that, Chris?
No, I think I'm going to give that thing a miss unless it moves closer to me.
Okay. Well, it is traveling around aimlessly, so I guess what I'm trying to convey is it might aimlessly wander in your general direction, and you could climb up a web to try to get close enough to it to do the identify. But that might get you spotted.
I'd rather avoid spottage.
Okay. So, hmm,
Does the Arcana roll do anything, or are we not close enough?
not close enough.
Okay.
So it hasn't been attempted yet. Um, as you guys are proceeding along the web, Yuck Yuck and Spider Bait have you switch over to another strand. You climb up a great long distance because this particular connecting strand is over 250 yards long. So it's quite the climb, and you're ascending at, I would say, a 75-degree angle. So you finally make
Oof.
it up to the top. You get all the way there, and you're climbing along this new strand, which is a lot larger than the previous one. And up ahead, um, there are some giant spiders, and they are on the web ahead of you. They're kind of aimlessly moving about. They're making some new connections. They're connecting it mostly to the ceiling, where they seem to have some webs that act like hammocks for their habitation. And as you guys are moving forward, Yuck Yuck and Spider Bite, put up their hand in a stop signal, and they point to their eyes and they point at the spiders, indicating that you should watch. And um, the the spider bait puts his hands together over his mouth, and he makes a very strange keening noise. And as he does so, um, out from the ceiling, these manta ray-like creatures that are very black with mouths on the underside full of sharp teeth swoop down from the ceiling and suddenly land on the spiders and consume them where they lie on their webs. It's over in an instant, and the spider carcasses tumble down, and then the creatures, la- uh, stop latching onto them, spread their wings, and glide about. They soar around for a little bit, looking for something else, and then they circle away and make their way back up into the stalagmites from which they came, or tights, stalactites. So
Wow. True spider bait.
I know, right? He's white and gold. So you guys continue moving along, and you've made it over halfway across this web, um, and you're getting close to the other end. And up ahead, there is a connecting strand that goes up and away at a 60-degree angle or so. And at the base of that, you can see several large web-like nodules attached to it. There are some on the underside, but they're mostly around where the top of the web, where this connecting strand connects up to another point. Um, they are really quite large, and you're not sure what they contain. But there's also no other place to get off of the web without backtracking. So, are you guys going to approach? Are you going to investigate? Or are you just going to try to scoot back past as quickly as possible?
I'm going to ask Yuck Yuck and Spiderbait if they know what that is. Very quietly in Goblin.
Oh, okay. Um, they peer out into the darkness ahead, and they respond, "Well, those are spider sacks. It could be any number of things. It could be spider young. It could be the remains of some spider meal that they're coming back for once the poison has done its work and whatever's inside is less anti being eaten. It could also be the remains of a meal that's already died, which might mean that there's some loot in there for us to pick up."
So it's risky, but sounds like it might be worth looking into.
Yeah, how about no?
Truthfully, there's no way to know for certain exactly how risky it is or it isn't. We would have to cut it open and find out. Now, if you guys want to undertake that particular plan, what I would suggest is that we leave the bulk of the party behind us, and we have some people up near the front that have good strength. That might be able to just push the spider sack into the abyss if it turns out it's dangerous.
Can we send Yuck Yuck to do that?
Yuck Yuck will not do that. You could send Ront though.
Poor Rot.
I'm
I
just-
like that idea.
With good strength, Ront, the fixer-upper, Melrath.
That was odd.
Let me check what was odd.
You sort of logged out of voice chat momentarily.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yes, I responded to you, so...
Hey, I don't know. Anyways, that was strange. I don't know what to make of it. Moving on though, what I was trying to say is that the three people in the party with the best strength are fixer-upper, Melrath, and Ront. And actually, let me double check the drow.
Yeah, you guys go ahead. Bob's gonna stick back here.
I'll stay at a medium range and be ready to snipe at whatever pops out if it's hostile.
Okay. Well, actually, technically, Ringig and Snake also have decent strength scores, at least as far as this party goes. But do you guys want to try to open these things?
That's a good question.
That's the question.
I don't think it's worth it personally.
Okay, so that's one vote against. Anybody else want to go for it? Melrath, you're the only other person that would be volunteered. You could also send Ron by himself. And hope that he succeeds.
Do we want him to die though? I mean,
Now
he's kind
that's
of
an
useful.
idea.
Now, that's the thing. Like, there's no guarantee that he'll die. There's a chance that there's actually a person inside or remains inside, which might have items inside.
Person inside?
Yeah, if a spider bit a person and then wrapped them in a webbing, leaving them there for the poison to do its work and come back and finish its meal later, that could
Excuse
be
me while I go vomit.
I know, right?
All right, I'm up for sacrificing Ront potentially.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'll go with him.
Oh, okay, cool. So Ringik and Ront climb the web in front of the party. Everyone is watching with bated breath, pretty certain that this is about to be the very end of Ringik and Ront. So once you finally got,
Or they're hoping.
once you guys finally approach, there are three nodules in front of you. There's one closest to you, and then there are two on the opposite side of where you're located. So I assume you're just going to get out a knife and start digging into the first one?
It's the longest reach thing that I can do.
Well, you're a goblin. It's not going to be super long. By the way, Ront's equipment includes great axe and javelins.
Hey Ron, see if you can saw into that with your axe, from as long as you can reach.
Okay, that's a 5 foot reach, same as you. It turns out because of mechanical advantage and weight.
Yeah.
But anyways, Ron starts to cut into it. He cuts into the end of it, and he's cutting through carefully, and then he reaches forward and kind of pulls at the webbing material, and kind of peers inside, and he goes, "Oh, there's a big foot in there, kind of hairy."
Mm,
Is it a hobbit?
I don't know. Let's cut it open and see what's in here.
Okay. So he continues to dig into the webbing, does his best to not potentially kill the inhabitant. As he pulls it open, reveals more of the contents. It is indeed a hobbit. In this game, they're called halflings, so that they don't get their pantsuit off by the Tolkien estate. And as you open it up, this creature actually, based on its skin tone and sort of touching its foot just gently, it's still warm with life. The creature within seems to maybe be paralyzed. He's not reacting. Like, feet on hobbits are just as sensitive as they are on people. So, kind of tickling his foot doesn't really, bring any response from the creature within. It has a heartbeat. He seems to be breathing. And you manage to cut open the entire thing, but you can find two large wounds near its neck where fangs went into it. The creature, like I said, is unconscious. So now that you've revealed this, you could, kind of stick with it and fend off spiders. You could continue and leave him to his fate. You could toss him over Ront's back, and then just continue on and talk to him when he gets over the poison later.
Or we could push him over the edge.
Just-
Hurl him into a pit.
Just create a pile of dead bodies at the bottom of this pit.
There's already a pile of dead bodies at the bottom of the pit, let me assure you. I would also point out, generally speaking, that because hobbits are a well-known surface race, hobbits are overwhelmingly chaotic good. It is very rare to come across a hobbit that is not good aligned.
Yeah, we could put Ront to work more and just have him carry him around, I think.
Anybody object?
Does Ront object? Too bad.
Well, Ront's kind of fixer-upper's servant
Bitch.
in a sense. Yeah, you could call him a bitch.
Yeah,
if you
Bitch.
want.
we
Yeah.
will call him a bitch, in fact. So Ront is instructed by the fixer-upper to carry this unconscious halfling. So he kind of throws him over his shoulders, lashes him to his backpack with some help from Ringik, and you guys are able to proceed on your way. As you continue, you've almost made it all the way there. There's a platform. You can see it. It's up ahead of you. Interestingly enough, with that platform, there are two entrances, one on the left of you and one on the right. And it seems like there's a cavern that kind of goes along that way, and it might act like a road along that particular path that happens to adjoin with these Silken paths. And as you're getting closer, you become aware that there is a strange scene up ahead of you. You can see that there is the remains of a cart that has been tangled up in a whole bunch of webs that had been anchored up onto that platform. It's fallen over the side. It's actually mostly upside down, and it's gotten caught in so many webs as it fell down that the webs versus the weight have caused it to be held in place pretty securely. Now, there were some beasts of burden that were at some point attached to this particular cart. They have all fallen into the abyss. You see no sign of them attached to this thing, nor do you see any signs of people that once steered this cart until it tumbled over the edge. Now, based on the way that it's there's still a decent amount of goods. And as you approach, you become aware that there is a large iron chest that has become entangled in all the webs. Now, where it's entangled, it's pretty securely caught up in those webs. Based on your estimation of its weight, there's no chance that it's going to fall anytime soon. And like I said, all of these webs are kind of holding it in place, so it's a little precarious in terms of kind of like, maneuvering across acrobatically to access it, but you don't think that it's going to suddenly fall through the web, is what I'm trying to get across.
If it were to be opened in its current location, would it wind up dumping its contents into the abyss?
No.
Okay.
Can I try to mage hand it then?
From a distance, sure, sure. Now let me do a quick check. Actually, you
I
do a
was
quick
gonna
check.
send Ront.
Tell me the distance that Mage Hand can cover.
Uh, it can cover.
Mine says 30 feet.
30 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Snake and Bob both have Mage Hand. So either one of you can get within 30 feet to try to open up this iron chest.
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay. So the rest of the party hangs back, trying to take careful watch over Snake. Is anybody else proceeding out there?
I'm going to wait until we can sort of see from a distance what's in that chest before I try and go out and retrieve it and see if
Okay.
it's worth it.
Okay. So, Snake slithers his way across a couple different webs. You have to use your arms a bit to kind of maneuver between some of these different strengths because it's a mess. You finally get within range, and your quick hand motions suddenly cause your two hands to become three, and a ghostly apparition of your hand floats across. It gets to the iron chest, and you push on the lid, and it seems to be locked. It's not open.
Oh, damn it.
And I guess I'll use my brazen thievery skills.
You're gonna go out there?
I think I need to.
Okay. So Ringik starts climbing out over the different webs. You have a little bit of an easier time than the Auntie did because you have less bulk. You manage to get your way out there, and interestingly enough, you can sort of lean back into these webs and reach forward to start working on the lockpick. Now, is anyone else going to go out there with him?
Fixer Upper will go to where Snake is.
Okay. Anybody else changing their position, or you're hanging back with the rest of the party? Eric and Kyle.
I mean, I
I'm
can't really
good.
help.
I'm sorry, what was that, Kyle?
I can't really help, so.
Okay, so you two hang back, along with the rest of the former prisoners. Actually, you know what? Let me check and see if any of them have any relevant skills. Take me just a moment. Okay, Topsy and Turvy also climb out to have your back. They're both good with lockpicking. They have thief
Mm-hmm.
skills, apparently. So they're hanging back, and Ringik, you get into position. I want you to roll a dex check, but when you do, down along the bottom where the modifiers are, add a +2. Okay.
All right. +2 dex check. Yeah.
Well done. Um, so you insert your lockpick and you start digging around, and you think you've hit something because suddenly the lid pops open. Do you reach inside?
I'm going to look inside. I'm not going to reach inside just yet.
Okay. As you look inside, there is a very strange piece of material. It's got a sheen to it. It's I don't know about the thickness of your wrist, a human wrist. It is kind of red. It's coiled a bit. And all of a sudden it launches out and hits you in the face. Teeth form along the edge
Mimic.
of the once iron chest, and eyes pop up on the roof. We're going into combat.
Son of a bitch.
Can I run away?
You're not even especially close, but yeah, if you want to run for it.
Can I jump into the abyss?
That is always an option.
You know what sucks, Chris, is that I was too greedy with the second spell slot. I was thinking about casting Detect Magic, but I just didn't feel like using the slot.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Can I ask everybody to roll initiative?
All of us?
Oh yeah.
Get this friggin' thing off of me.
Okay. Yeah, there. Now we're all set. First up to act is Ringik.
It's trying to grapple me, isn't it?
Well, it hasn't actually acted yet. It's just reacting to you opening its lid, as it were. By the way, let me check.
I'm going to get the hell away from that thing. It's not going to extricate itself from those webs easily.
One slight problem, Chris. one that you need to consider carefully, which is that if you attempt to move away from it, you will leave its threatened area, and that
Hmm.
means that you will. I'm gonna also share something real quick because I don't think Kyle knows what a mimic is.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, yeah, he wants to French. So, anyways, if you move away from him, he has an attack of opportunity against you, and that attack of opportunity might result in you taking damage or even being grappled. So, are you willing to risk that?
Uh, well, I'm at risk of being damaged or grappled anyway, so
All right, I'm gonna roll.
Where is he in the turn order?
The mimic is directly underneath Ringek. It's the next thing to act.
Oh, what's his name?
uh,
Mimi.
Me, I'm first.
how's that?
Wait, I
Uh,
can't see it.
we can't see it on the combat tracker.
Oh, there you go.
Mr.
Mr.
Mime.
Oh,
How cute.
Also,
I
don't forget,
expected
Ringek,
better.
that since this is a creature you've not encountered before, you could try to roll knowledge check.
That's a
It,
good. That's a good point. What would that be? That's definitely not natural. So Arcana.
Oh, that's Arcana.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Nice.
It's a funny thing. When the teeth are like right in front of you, it makes it really easy to figure out what this is. This creature is a mimic. It is a medium monstrosity. It is a shape changer. Mimics actually are quite neutral. They don't care who or what gets near their maw as long as it gets in their belly. Let me do a quick check from here. Mimics are shape-shifting predators able to take on the form of inanimate objects in order to lure creatures to their doom. In dungeon, these hunting creatures most often take the form of doors and chests, having learned that such forms attract a steady stream of prey. As far as they
Ugh.
go, they are immune to acid. They cannot be knocked prone. They can see in the dark. They have the ability to shape change, of course. Their most notable feature is that they are capable of adhering to creatures when they hit them with their pseudopod, that big blue long tongue-like thing that you saw. Now,
adhering. That sounds delightful.
once they've adhered to a creature, that creature has to roll an attempt to escape it, and it means that they have advantage to try to bite the creature because the reason they have advantage and not auto hit is A, that's unfair, and B, your armor can still protect you even if you're grappled. Make sense?
Right.
Okay, so now that you've got this information, you're going to attempt to move away, so I'm going to roll his attempt to hit you.
God damn it.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
How much damage is that?
Uh,
169.
Sorry. It deals 10 points of damage to you. You've gone unconscious.
I didn't have a chance to burn a hit die to save myself, do I? Due
Not
to
now.
second wind. Damn it.
Yeah.
Get me the hell out of here.
Mr. Mime. Mr. Mime is up. Oh, let me do something real quick. I gotta make sure.
That was a hell of an attack of opportunity.
Okay. It was indeed. Oh, no, Chris.
Oh god. Oh my god, no.
Wow, I guess you're dead.
No!
Chris, you said you wanted to make a new character, so get to
Well, the
Chris.
once and future Goblin King has been
it.
eaten
Hey,
by...
creating new characters is fun. Get to it.
Hold on just a second, Chris. We may need to. I need to look something up in the player's handbook.
Look
because
up rules for regicide.
No.
All because I didn't want to burn a spell slot. Ugh, so greedy.
Death. Okay, let's see here. 197. I haven't had to deal with this page very often. Weapons to 0 hit points.
Can we sacrifice Ront?
You've already sacrificed me.
All right, guys. Massive damage can kill you instantly. When damage reduces you to 0 hit points, and there is damage remaining, you die if the remaining damage equals or exceeds your hit point maximum. So, for example,
That was 4d8. I'm pretty sure that exceeded it. Ringek's dead.
Ringek has died instantly. Having been grappled by the mimic, it bites into his upper torso and tears him apart. Now, unfortunately for him, he's dead. But the rest of the party has actually, you're far enough away that the mimic is actually still bound up in the webs. It's not going to be able to get to you easily. And, treasure chests are mobility challenged to begin with. So everybody watches as Ringkick is crunched and crunched and crunched to death. And
We
all
watch blissfully.
all right, Chris, I'm going to have to ask you to bring up a new character while we continue along. That new character will be second level.
Okay.
Okay.
You
Now,
wanted to make a new one anyway, Chris. This is good.
I kind of did.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
fine.
Okay. So, I'm going to lead out Mr. Mime because I'm pretty certain nobody else wants to encounter that creature, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
So we have killed off that creature. So now at this point, you make it all the way to the other side of the web.
I'm just a creature now. Thanks.
As you guys climb up onto the ledge, you look back over at the mimic, and suddenly you hear a belch, and you see Ringkick's body tumble over the edge and fall into
Insult to injury. Thanks.
Ringkick's journey has ended before it began. Now,
Wow.
to the other side, Yuck Yuck and Spiderbait look a little sheepish. It's a real shame about what happened to your friend there. Well, we technically had an agreement based on the number of people that we were, getting across to the other side of this web. So, if, well, we think we can see clear to reducing the price of our services as a result. Does that sound acceptable to you guys due to your loss here?
Oh, it's
We'll accept that. Thanks.
Excellent. So we already have our payment. So actually, we were kind of impressed with the way that you handled the Quaggoth and the Drow, and you seem to have some decent equipment there. And we just thought, if you wanted, we could go with you guys.
Well, you're better than that goblin that just died, so sure.
Oh. No end to the insults.
Do you guys want to add them to the party?
I don't see why not.
Sure.
Yeah, we need more bodies.
Yeah.
We need more cannon fodder.
I'm not in a position to vote, but I mean, the only real downside is, of course, food and water consumption. But even then, we just reduced that considerably.
Oh, let me add to the list of dead.
Delete.
There we go.
Confirm. Delete.
Okay, so right.
Ringkick is not on the party sheet anymore.
Unfortunately not. So now, right, I found what I was doing. Once you guys made it up to the cliff, you have an opportunity to take a long rest. I mean, it was obviously pretty impossible to do while you were on the webs themselves. Yeah, so we're gonna do that real quick.
So, Alex, can we now incinerate that, or is it that time already passed? Can we blow up the webs? Can we shoot backwards to the? I can't really get a visual of where we are.
Okay,
like?
So you have crossed a 2,000-foot chasm. You are now on the other side. You are on a. If you were to draw a line diagonally, you have ascended 850 feet up.
Okay.
And you are now on a tall cliff overlooking the entire Silken Paths. There are a lot of different webs that anchor to this point. And so it sounds like what you want to do is set those webs on fire so that it would be more difficult for someone to get to this cliff.
Yes.
Okay, so you are aware there are other webs that connect to other points along the wall that you are currently on.
Oh, okay, so it wouldn't be very useful. All right.
No. What it means is they won't be able to take this exact path. They have to connect to one of those other webs, and it has to have access to other passages.
Okay, so it would make it somewhat more difficult.
Correct.
Can we
Okay.
burn it all?
It would take a really long time to burn it all, and you don't have the range. But you can burn
Ugh.
a lot of the webs in your area and take the time to sort of cover your tracks, as it were.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Yep. I'm
So
loading up the firebolt.
you guys go ahead. I think actually, yeah, between Bob and Snake, Eldritch Blast and Firebolt is able to kind of, saw through the webs. You sever all the connections to your current platform. Some of those webs catch on fire and continue burning for a while. Some of that fire burning results in the death of the mimic, as the fire means that it's
Nice XP, guys.
anchored, so it falls into the abyss. Now that everybody is second level and you've had a chance to, or sorry, everybody has had a chance to long rest, please give yourself a second level. And for
Nice.
Kyle, a little tutorial. What you need to
How do
do,
we do that?
yeah,
Right.
you're going to go
Ooh.
into the library.
Library.
When you get there, in the upper right, it says classes. Double click that.
Uh huh.
On the list, you'll find the Warlock.
Uh huh.
You're going to click and drag the dragon head onto your character sheet where it says Warlock 1. Do that.
Is this for the original or Xanthar?
Player's Handbook.
Player's Handbook. Ah, sweet.
Pretty cool.
Okay, so now it's going to start asking you questions about your second level, so you guys can go through and do that. When you are ready, I'm going to do... When you are ready, click into the circle. And when I see that there are check marks for everybody, I will continue.
Chris, who are you making, by the way? Now that you have options.
Now that I have options,
Yeah, let's consider.
let us consider this. I'm not sure what to consider.
Oh. Obviously, you wanted to be a monk all this time, right?
Oh, of course. Let's see.
So wait, what does it ask you? I see that it added a few things, but is it supposed to ask you specific things?
It was. Did
I'm
Let me check what
confused.
happens. I'm looking now to see what you get at second level. Warlock. Second level, you get Eldritch Invocations. I'm looking for those now. Eldritch Invocations, click here. Ah, okay, so let me see if any of that added to your Xanthar. Oh shit, there's two lists of these now. If I pull open the Xanthars one, does that actually Chains of Corsary? Maybe if I compare these side by side, I'll be able to tell. Agonizing Blast, Armor, Shadows, Ascendant, Step, Beach Speed. And it looks like actually, for the most part, these are the same. Oh no, they are a little bit different. Okay. Sorry. Here's what I'm gonna do. Kyle, look in the chat. See that dragon head? Click on it for me.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna open up a giant fucking table. You need to expand it outwards. From the lower right, there's a little tab that you can pull.
Gotcha.
Okay, so you're going to expand this out. So here's what this is. In your study of the occult lore, you have unearthed eldritch invocations, fragments of forbidden knowledge that imbue you with an abiding magical ability. And at second level, you gain 2 of these of your choice. Your invocations are detailed below, and when you gain certain warlock levels, you'll gain additional invocations of your choice. And also, as you level up, if you find that you don't like one of these, you can replace it with another. So I know that that's a lot of info all at once, but take a look at the very first thing on the list. Agonizing Blast. What this does is it modifies your cantrip, your Eldritch Blast, so that you add your Charisma modifier to the damage it deals.
There you go.
So that's the first option that you can take.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're going to want to do is you're going to let me know which one of these you want, and I'll help you add them to your character sheet so that we know which ones you picked. Now note that there's a prerequisite column, and so like if you look at Ascendant Step, You have to be 9th level in order to do that. Okay.
Okay.
So as you're scrolling through here, there should be some that are actually require like the specific background that you chose, which is Great Old One, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Great Old One. So you can scroll through these, and it's going to take you a little while to sort of read them. But I would just sort of start with the prerequisite, and if you don't meet it, just skip it. And part of the other thing is that like if you look at armor of shadows underneath it, that's another really good one. It causes you to cast mage armor on yourself at will without expending a spell slot. And what that
Wow.
does is it makes your armor class a base of 13 plus your dex. So your armor class would become, that's weird. Why is it 12 to begin with? Skills. Something's not right here. There we go. Sorry about that. Armor is 2. So you would go from an armor class of 10 plus 2 plus 2. Okay. From an armor class of 14 to 17.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah.
Hmm. I like the one that says you can read all writing. Is that in any language?
What's the name?
Spell false life.
Spell false life? What? What's the name of the invocation?
Oh, sorry. Eyes of the Runekeeper.
Oh, no. First of all, that doesn't have uses. It's just a permanent effect, period. You can read all writing everywhere, no matter what language it's in. As long as it is a language and not like a code, like
Mm-hmm.
like the Enigma code in World War II, you can just read it.
Is that good or bad?
That's good. It's highly utilitarian though. So what I would consider is, since you get 2 at this level, you might want to consider taking one that is combat oriented and then one that is utilitarian.
Okay.
You could also take 2 that are combat oriented, but like Eyes of the Runekeeper is very good. Don't make no mistake.
Mm-hmm. But then I would drag. Which would I drag onto it? The one below.
What would happen is, if you want that one, do you want that one?
Kind of.
Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add it to your character sheet because there's
Oh,
nothing to drag for that one. So this
gotcha.
is Eyes of the Rune Keeper. Is that right?
Paladins use charisma primarily, right?
Correct. Well, sort of. They use strength a lot because they're generally melee characters.
Strength, con, and ka. Gotcha.
And sometimes wisdom because they have a little bit of spell casting too. They have a lot of spread out stats.
Okay.
Okay, so Eyes of the Rune Keeper.
I think you'd rather want something that does more specialized stuff, Chris. Because we have, what, 12 people in the party at the moment?
Well, I mean, paladins are also healers, so it takes a little bit of the.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I've added Eyes of the Rune Keeper to your list, and then I just added what it does, so you won't have any issues with that later.
Okay.
I figure I'm probably going to get this character killed too, so Paladin of Conquest.
Okay.
Well, I hope you get that character killed as well. I believe in
Thank
you,
you.
Chris.
I'll do my best. Let's see, what would that be?
Does anybody else need help?
I could use an opinion.
Sure.
Do you think chromatic orb or burning hands would be more useful in this party?
Good question. Let me think about that for a second. Consider your spells. Well, currently poison spray does cover an area, so that's a plus. Magic missile isn't always hit, so you already have a single target attack. Chromatic orb is just so good because if anything has any vulnerability whatsoever, you're almost certainly
Right.
going to be able to.
And if it doesn't, I can just go with fire because I get the bonus as a fire adept.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's a really good choice. Basically, the reason to choose Burning Hands is you want to be able to hit area.
Mhm.
If you want to be able to hit area, is what I should say.
Kyle, do you have any area stuff yet?
Any area spells? You mean?
Yeah, because they're really useful.
I don't think so. I have a self 10-foot radius spell. Arms of Head. Yeah.
Okay.
That's an area effect spell.
What does that do?
Tendrils of
Is
dark
it in air?
energy erupt from
Okay.
you and batter all creatures within 10 feet of you. Each creature in that area must make a strength saving throw, and on a failed save, it takes 2d6 necrotic damage and can't take reactions until its next turn.
Okay.
On a successful save, it takes half damage but suffers no other effect.
All right. I guess I can go with Chromatic Orb for now then. Thanks.
So, Alex, I think I'm going to take that
Go on.
armor one.
Okay, so then here's
And
what
then mage
happens.
armor.
Yeah, Mage Armor is really good.
Mage Armor has just been added to your spell list. It just doesn't take up a second level spell slot. Now, the other thing that's super important that I totally forgot about until right now, let me pull that up, Warlock. At second level, so that was the only feature you get, but you also get a new spell known. You get to choose a second first level spell to add to your list.
Second first level spell. Okay.
So go to the library again, and you'll find the spells page. And then at the bottom of that spells, for level, select 1. For source, scroll down and select Warlock with nothing in parentheses.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all the spell options that you have for first level.
Okay.
Is it Chris? Did you roll your stats?
I did.
And quite
Wow, you got
well.
lucky.
You did indeed. It's going to be quite the character.
I still hope you die though.
That 19 is going to be a great feat, Chris. You can't start with a 19.
In that case, can I switch it around to have that be my con score? Or not 19, but
Well, nothing's set in stone yet, but you can switch around however you want. But once we start, they're set.
it'll switch my con and ka, so they'll both be 17. Because tiefling +2 charisma.
Okay. Oh,
A Tiefling Paladin.
when I said that it can't be above an 18, what I meant is the number that you rolled, 19, that is an 18. Any bonuses you get from your race.
No. It was a 17 to start.
I see.
46 dropped the lowest.
Wow, you're getting rewarded for having your character killed. What is this? So, what abilities does the conquest path have anyway?
Well, let's see here. Oath of Conquest. It's not enough to merely defeat an enemy in battle. Your victory must be so overwhelming that your enemy's will to fight is shattered forever. Let's see. Conquest Oath spells. Armor of Agathis. Command. Hold person. Spiritual weapon. Bestow curse. Fear. Oh, Cloud Kill at 17th level.
No, we won't be getting that far. But Hold Person's good.
Let's see. Channel Divinity can exude a terrifying presence. Each creatures of my choice that I can see within 30 feet make a wisdom saving throw, and if they fail, they get frightened. Guided Strike, you can use Channel Divinity to...
Yeah, my
add
War Priest has that already.
Aura of Conquest.
Don't forget to check off the checks box if you are actually finished with your character.
I'm not. But also, Alex, I got your message.
Okay, good.
So I'm looking at spells, and under components, what are these things listed?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, so the super short answer, Kyle, is that if you want to play D&D technically correct, a lot of times spells require a component, a physical object that you sacrifice to make the spell manifest. For the most part, I think they're stupid. I think that they're unnecessary to keep up with things. The only time that they will ever come into effect is times that I tell you, when you have like a very powerful spell, like I want to make a golem that will last forever to follow the party around. Then you'll need components. For most of the spells that you cast, you won't.
Okay.
Really?
Flaws.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just.
The unseen servant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do I need to focus on attack?
No. No, you have enough spells and stuff to deal with that. Very interesting choice. This, here's what it can do, though. It can absolutely go out and gather food and water for you.
Well, that's nice.
That's
Or
actually,
open a mimic for me?
yeah, no, actually, the more that I'm sitting here thinking about this, yeah, this is an incredibly good spell choice.
Yeah, so shut the fuck up.
I'm sitting here and I'm like, why would he choose that? And then the longer I thought about it,
Keep in mind, this is my only D&D experience here, is what we've seen so far.
no, you're doing great. I was going to make a recommendation if you needed help, but it looks like we're set. So, hold on a second.
All right.
How do I respond? There
Now see, if I can read all languages, how do I read that?
we go. Oh, you would just ask me as the DM and I'll
What language was that in?
I don't fucking know. Show offs.
yeah, exactly. So, okay. So
I should probably
it looks
start
like
with some
everybody
equipment.
but Chris is finished with their character, so we're actually okay with that for now. I'm going to very quickly assign you a character portrait just because. Xanthar here.
So what new character did you make?
He's still working.
One that cheated with. He cheated.
Cheated so.
Oh, wow. All right. Jeez.
There you
He
go.
has all these fake stats that he cheated with.
There's your Tiefling Paladin. They actually had a portrait specifically for it.
I'm gonna go get my characters killed so I can make cheaty face characters like yours, Chris.
As long as we just keep sacrificing NPCs, I'm okay.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, so now that you guys have finished up, you rest the night. You feel all the stronger for it the following day. But as you awaken, you find that halfling, he's also kind of come to. He's asked, excuse me, food, water. I'm so parched, please.
Okay.
Nobody does anything.
Oh God, it's Eldeath all over again.
Can we throw him over the edge?
Are you guys gonna let him have food and water?
Do we have any to spare?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay. Kyle feeds him some food and gives him some water. Thank you, you're so kind. Oh my. Wait, I'm back on the side I started on. God damn it. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter since I have no idea where I was going to begin with. Who are you people?
I guess we're escaped convicts.
His eyes widen. Convicts?
Well, no, we're in prison. I guess we're good, but I guess that remains to be seen too.
That is the strangest introduction I think I've ever heard in my entire life. I'm Fargus Rumblefoot, and should I be leaving?
I mean,
Yes.
no. Well, maybe we're mostly just trying to survive to get to what is this place called, Bloop Dop or something.
Bloop, blop, bloop.
Bloop de blop.
Beep beep boop blorp.
Well, you see, I came into this passage because I was trying to escape from a pack of crazed gnolls and well actually I'm sorry, that's a little too present. Let me back up a bit further. I'm from Waterdeep on the surface. Have you heard of it? Anyone?
I think we have, haven't we?
It is a large metropolitan city. It would be like Philadelphia.
Wait, no, it's that board game.
Yes, it is also a very large city in Dungeons and Dragons that is the equivalent of Philadelphia, in terms of like population and size and all that stuff. Um,
Yes, we've heard of it.
well, so there's this famous tavern there that connects to this place called Undermountain. Mountain is a very famous Dungeons and Dragons setting. A mad mage controls this Undermountain, and he constantly causes it to shift and change all the time in order to protect his secrets. And of course, he's insane. So people often go down there trying to raid it for treasure, only to end up dead or never being heard from again, or some other worse fate. Anyways, so we went into Undermountain, and I had a party with me, and I was in this library, and while I was in the library, I found this book that describes this ancient tome called the Lost Tome of KM. And I was there with my tiefling paladin companion, and when I opened the book, the two of us were suddenly teleported into a random part of the Underdark, completely away from the Undermountain. And then that's when we were in this cave system, and this mad pack of gnolls started chasing us, and we got separated. And then I ended up running down and making it to here. And uh, did you happen to see my paladin companion?
Yeah, what's his name?
I think it was Tazarath.
It was Cheater. No, sorry, Tazarath.
Well, I don't see him around. I guess he didn't make it. He was a pretty handy fellow to have along. You guys might want to consider backtracking a little bit to see if he made it.
What sort of armor can I use, by the way?
Chainmail. You can just drop it.
Turn mirror. Bip, bip, bip,
So,
bip, bip, bip.
yeah, are you guys going to follow the halfling, Fargus Rumblefoot?
We're not going back if that's what he wants to do.
No,
Gee.
not across the way. But he points to a passage that opens before you. Down that way and lead you back.
I'll roll insight, I guess.
Silly halflings.
Where's that insight check?
It's a coming. Oh, not very good.
Neither of us.
You haven't met an awful lot of halflings, but this is one of the most trustworthy ones you've ever seen in your entire life.
I am going to keep rolling insight.
As long as he doesn't have any rings.
There we go.
Oh.
There we go.
Finally, Melra.
Melrath seems to have a pretty decent roll. Now, I've rolled invisibly. Let's see here. Like so. Okay, so now I know what his opposed check is. Melrath considers the halfling, and at the moment, here's what you sense from him. He's afraid. He's alone. He's with people he doesn't know or trust. He's not dreadfully far from his companion, and he senses that now that he has the advantage of numbers, thanks to you and all of your prisoners, there's a chance to save his friend. That's what Melrath is reading from the situation.
So, what will you give us if we help your?
Well, actually, I think I am in the position to offer a reward. Listen, if you help me find Tazarath, I will lead you to the lost home of KM. Now, I'm aware from the map that I saw that it's actually located pretty close to Sloobdeldop, and that means that once we get to it, I'll even give you full access to the treasures within. We can part our ways if that's what you want.
That sounds
down.
fair to me. How about you guys?
I'm down.
Okay.
As long as you don't see any more spiders.
Okay. So the party starts to follow Fargus. You go through a number of passageways. Some of them
Fargus.
get a little tight. As you proceed along, you end up coming into an area, um, and you hear clacking noises as you approach a certain point in this passageway. And then in front of you, two large insectoid creatures dart out from a passage along the right wall into a passage in the left wall and vanish from sight. Fargus yelps and screams and scrambles backwards. Holy crap, did you see those things? Then that's when you hear it. There's a gibbering. Wait a minute, why are people at low hit points? I know why. Let me fix that for you guys.
For now.
When you leveled up. Wait, what? Why did that
Should
happen?
probably do that with Ron's too, since he got wounded.
Wait, something's odd here. It says your HP and hit dice are down, but everybody has full hit points.
Huh.
Like you see it on the party sheet, right?
Because of the halfling, isn't it?
No? I mean, look, Tazarath is on there properly. Let me just try removing Stake for a second, and then add Snake back.
I'm not seeing myself on there.
I just added Tazarath to the party sheet. Well, according to this, it looks like if I delete you guys and then re-add you, you show up with the proper number of hit points and hit dice. Click and click. So then we go Melrath, Fix Wrapper, Bob. Done. All right, party is all set. So, right. Anyways, as you guys, so at this point you hear a strange gibbering laugh in the distance, and it seems to be echoing in the cave all around you. And suddenly, from the darkness, stumbles a figure.
A what?
A figure.
Oh. And then what happens?
Give me a second.
Oh.
He's typing something.
Is it a mind flare?
I think
Oh.
it just might be. Wait a minute, I should probably.
Jeez.
Wow, I got that right.
Right.
Damn, I'm good.
I've heard about those. Jesus.
A gibbering laugh.
There.
Oh. Wait a second. I don't know who you are, but Fargus. How are you alive? It is good to see you.
Well, I actually almost wasn't if it weren't for these adventurers. Up ahead, there's a giant spider causeway of some sort, and I got ambushed by giant spiders trying to make my escape. I figured the gnolls wouldn't try to track me against all those webs, and it seems there's a good reason for that. So
Yeah,
they rescued me, and I brought them back here to rescue you.
thank you. Not. I only just barely got away from those mad gnolls myself. And something else. I don't even know what that was. The weird bug creatures?
Yeah, they went off to the left of the party right now.
Which way is left?
Oh,
Oh, that way.
oh, actually, I'm sorry. I have a map. Let me pull up the map. I have a real map for this.
Oh, okay. I was just role-playing with that, but okay.
Yeah, you know, it works. Close that, close that. Here it is.
Those backgrounds.
No, that's the encounter. I don't want that. Pictures? Nope, that's not it. Why is there only a DM map for this? Let me try this one. I want to go to Out of the Abyss Maps. And here it is. And then let me just apply a quick filter to this. Layers, mask. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go like this. Nope, that doesn't work. Give me just a second. And then there. And is there anything else I need to reveal? Oh, this over here. That. And then there's one last thing I have to do. Oh, and I have to add you to this. And then there. 1, 2, 3,
Add.
5. Perfect. Okay. Now I share. Here. And then I'm just going to add one little...
That is ginormous.
It is ginormous. A lot of these are. So you guys have come from right here where I've drawn this X. This is the passageway in. Right here and right here. The northern section is where the bug creatures ran through, and the southern section is where they escaped from. You can currently hear some of the gibbering you think coming from the north, but some of it might be coming from the passageway that Tazarath ran from. And so now the party is pretty much together. The prisoners are present, but I won't drop them on the map unless combat happens and I need to. Okay. Now,
Okay.
the only other thing worth mentioning is that at this point it is 9:15, and I want to try to be sensitive about the ending time. So we can leave it here and pick up next time.
I would be perfectly fine with that because I have early shift tomorrow morning.
No problem.